saying too much in an interview, saying these repetitive kind of vocal stereotypies, they drive me crazy, and I am the worst at doing it. In this video, we're going to talk about strategies specifically in a job interview to reduce the amount you say or what up fam. Dr. James W. Stallcup, aka Jimmy Joe Coltrane. Let's get started. Saying too much in a job interview, it is a big problem. It is almost unavoidable. When we say and, or so, these are typically words that we pepper into face-to-face conversation to indicate that we are not quite done or that we're going to add something on. When I go back and watch my videos, this is one of the things that I cannot stand, and it can be virtually impossible to eliminate. Do you want me to prove that to you? Look at how many times President Obama would say and during a speech. Now, he is regarded as a fantastic orator, but even then, it's very hard. Even at that level of skill, it is very hard not to say and So in this video, we're going to talk about some strategies to deal with that. Real quick, click like and click subscribe. New channel, all the subscribers help us. Also, we have the full Interview Dynamics course posted online now. It's very, very reasonably priced. It takes you start to finish everything you need to know to do a job interview. And I don't think I've said or yet. Did I say it? Was it Oh. So the use of these vocalizations is very heavily associated with freestyle. When a person goes into a job interview without defined, personalized content, and they intend to answer questions just through coming up with something on the spot, that very much leads to saying and It also leads to running long. An answer that runs long and does not have a story arc definitely hurts you in a job interview, and it can be murder in a virtual interview. So remember, virtual interviews, the answer must be kept shorter because in a virtual interview, engagement is lost much more quickly. Another way to say this is when we see something on a screen, we lose engagement more quickly. My pauses talking to you over dinner can be much longer than the pauses in a YouTube video. If there are pauses in this video, you'll click to another video. But in normal speech, pauses are kind of part of it. So if you start freestyling answers and using and in a virtual interview, it is very, very harmful to your likelihood of getting that job. We do this when we are anxious. We do this because we feel like we may add something on to make the answer better. We do this because we do not like silence. We don't like silence in that conversation. And the feeling of saying and is satisfying to us because there is no more silence. I use so as a connector. You will hear me say so. Every time I make one of these videos, the editing requires the removal of 30 or 40 so's, which I would lump into the same category as and 3 tips. Here's 3 ways that will help you. It's hard to say solve it because this is kind of like anxiety. We're going to minimize it. We're probably not going to eliminate it altogether. But here are 3 ways that we can approach it. Number 1, know your content. If you see an actor say or that means they don't know their lines. They don't usually write a whole bunch of ums and uhs into a script. And when the actor knows the script, they do not have to say or because they are not searching for what to say. In the Interview Dynamics course, I outline how to develop personalized content to the 40 most probable interview questions. Now, if you do that and you memorize that content, certainly the bullet points, the outline, the story arc of each answer, then you're less likely to say or Also, a story arc will help you not say and because it gives a definitive ending to your answer. So another way to say that is when I'm asked a question in a job interview, I have personalized content that has a story arc. The story arc has a beginning, it has sort of a rising action and a resolution. Classic example is the kingdom was peaceful. Then a dragon appeared and there was a lot of turmoil, but here is how I defeated the dragon. Right? So that's a little story arc. That will help you stop saying and because after you defeat the dragon, you know that's the end of the story. When you develop the personalized content, you will know the end of the answer and you will not want to continue going. In fact, once you get there, you will be happy and satisfied that you have completed the arc and there is no need to go farther. Sound complicated? I make videos for people who want to get jobs. I make videos for people who don't want to leave a single thing to chance. They want to go in there and be the best 1 out of 10,000. Second tip, and it closely aligns with what we were talking about story arc, make the end of the answer an event. Give a definitive end to the answer. So you heard my vocalization when I said definitive end to the answer. It was the cadence slowed down a little bit. It signified that there was a stopping point at the end of the answer. And that is how you master point number 2. So again, you can tell in the cadence, you are signifying that the end of the answer is actually a definitive event. If you get used to defining through the way you speak the actual end of a statement, then you will become more comfortable with not saying and because there's nothing to run it into. There's nothing to join that to. You've ended it. Make the end of the answer an event. And the third one, this is kind of odd to me, but this is very frequently taught by experts who I believe know exactly what they're talking about. Practice closing your mouth. Apparently, there is a very big problem with people leaving their mouth open at the end of a statement. So as part of your event where you finish and end the answer, practice closing your mouth. Make sure that your mouth is closed because then you're less likely to let an or a so slip out. Now let's talk a little bit about recording. Should you record yourself in a job interview? Should you go in there with a recorder on your phone going, or maybe a little digital audio recorder going in your bag? It's a good one right here, Tascam DR07. This little digital audio recorder. I always have this in case I need to dictate something or have some ideas or something like that. You can have one of these things going surreptitiously in a job interview. Is it legal? I'm not an attorney. I don't know. But I do know that comedians very frequently record their stand-up comedy sets to then listen to later on. I have a little bit of an issue with this. I don't know that you should record yourself in a job interview. And the reason is that I have conducted a whole lot of job interviews, both in real life and in practice. They're not perfect. Applicants do not sound great in a job interview. Now, let me clarify this. Even top-notch applicants who are wonderful at the job interview process, and these are few and far between. This is the 1 in 100, but even top-notch applicants do make errors. They do say and they do give imperfect performances because it is extremely hard to deliver a perfect performance in a job interview. Now, as you are learning and as you're going through this process, I question the effect that has on your confidence. If you perform what sounds to your ears like it's trash, but in reality, it may not be that bad. You are unable to look at your performance objectively. You can know what is good and what is suboptimal, but you can't truly look at it through the eyes of an obstacle conducting the interview. So I think that the negative impact that recording yourself may have on your confidence, that may actually be more of a negative effect than just planning and practicing as much as you can and going and conducting interviews without actually recording it. It probably would be a safer bet to record yourself during practice rather than an actual interview. All right, there's some tips to help you avoid saying and Click like, click subscribe, and thanks for watching.